Already asked how you were doing. We got that out of the way. That was my opener. Thanks everybody for coming out this evening. I wrote down like paragraph statements, and it just doesn't seem like the way to go anymore. All right. So I met Brett at LitFest, I think in 2018 at University of Dayton, which for the sake of brevity I will refer to as UD from here in. So I say this as somebody that falls into the trap of using the attention I get on this stage to fill any number of voids that I find within myself on a regular basis. Like, that was never who Brett was. Brett just wanted to share with people, and it was a welcome change of pace from somebody who was admittedly, especially at the time, a very self-centered and, you know what, I'll say it, pretentious artist. And the fact that we were able to meet someone like that at UD and they came here and shared their words and their lives with us for 5 years is amazing. And I know that there are people here that don't know Brett from this space, that know Brett from the number of local businesses that she frequented, or know her from, I would imagine, UD. Are there any UD students here tonight? There we go. That's exactly how proud I would be of going to UD myself. I say that as someone that has a degree from Wright State University. I would be less enthusiastic about that degree, though, that I actually have. So over the last 2 weeks, I've seen, I think, a lot of faces in this room share their memories of Brett and how she just always found a way to be like the brightest star in the room without diminishing anyone else's, which is a very, very difficult thing to do. And I'm only going to talk for a few minutes, but I wrote stuff down so that I wouldn't end up telling terrible jokes all night long. But tonight, is not just a night to mourn and grieve. It presents us with the opportunity to bring our voices together and share stories, recount any of the joyous moments that they seem to follow Brett everywhere. And with that said, as a person in their late 30s who had parents that worked both jobs, television pretty much raised me. That carried over into my adult life, and so I have comfort TV shows, comfort music, things of that nature. And a TV show that I dove into almost immediately earlier this year and revisited again recently was the TV show Scrubs. And there is an episode of that show called My Screw Up, and the narration at the end of it it's been a source of comfort for me, and I'm going to share that with you now. And that is that in the end, the most important thing to accept is that no matter how alone you feel, how painful it may be, with the help of those around you, you'll get through this too. Also, on a serious note, and I'm actually going to read this because I want to get it right. If you do find yourself grieving, remember the grief cycle is not a linear process. You might tomorrow might be harder than today, and yesterday might be easier than the day before it. And grief is absolutely a personal thing, and we all experience it and deal with it in our own way. And if you're not just entrenched with grief right now, that does not change the relationship you had with Brett in any way. Because speaking for myself, it's not where my head goes, especially immediately. But so that is not representative of the relationship you had with Brett at all. If you do find yourself struggling with grief and dealing with this, and especially with Brett being younger, if you were roughly the same age as her, it might be the first time someone your age passed away, and not in a car accident or something. And I know from my experiences in high school, that's a difficult thing to deal with. I did want to let everyone know that Hospice of Dayton provides grief therapy. In 2018, when I last had cause to use it, it was free. My assumption is that it is still free because that is what it says on their website. Okay. And you can use that for up to 13 months after the date of anyone's passing. And they have art therapy and other things that are a little bit more targeted to like people's specific interests. I know that the grief therapy groups are free, the art therapy and things of that nature I am not certain about. You can find that information on their website. We will post those links to our social media either this evening or tomorrow. I also wanted to let everybody know that in addition to being a spoken word artist, Brett did a lot of modeling and worked with a lot of local photographers, and some of those photos are actually in the large gallery over there, and you can all take those home with you when you leave this evening. And I do want to just say thank you to Mary Catherine at Class J, Rosemary, and Deja Good for taking the time to prepare those. We are going to have an open mic. I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing in just a moment here, and instead of a normal feature, we are going to be playing the audio from Brett's senior capstone project at UD. If you can't stick around for that because you have to work in the morning or that's not something that you can be here for, we understand. We're playing it off of her YouTube channel, and we will post the link to that to our social media as well. If you're hungry, Pizza Bandit has some great pizza, and if you're thirsty, there's a bar in the back, and I promise that they will take good care of you. Cookies, cake, and bruschetta. I didn't know about that. We are going to take an intermission after the capstone project, just so that people, if they need a break, and if you need a break, and if you need to, go outside or go into the large gallery where the air conditioning it's nice. It's good air conditioning in there. Absolutely do so. Don't worry about interrupting what's going on up here. We will make it work. Once again, thank you to all of you for coming out this evening. You all are filling this space up, and that's what makes this event important, and that's what makes this event worth having. With that in mind, Link's going to start playing music, and then stop just as suddenly.